Gather around, ladies and gentlemen. 'Tis the season where we all buy a new journal that we're convinced will change our life, only to have it collect dust in a month. My best purchase of 2022 was this iPad, and for the first time in my entire life, I actually stuck to a writing protocol for a whole 365 days. I'm gonna show you how I organize my iPad and how it syncs up to my Apple Watch. Whether it be habit trackers, vision boards, day-to-day to-do lists, and pretty much everything that keeps me accountable in that direction of being the best version of myself. That girl, as they would say, the girl that's on top of her wellness. Because I am naturally a creative.
Remember, this is your world. You get to make and break the rules here. I
am very right-brained, but I've learned right-brained means chaotic, and I needed a system that took all that mess and streamlines it into productivity. So the first app I use on my iPad lets my creativity go wild, and then we can siphon it. We gotta let her run so we can rope her in, is GoodNotes. So this is where I make my vision boards. This is where I do kind of anything visual. Every morning, I grab my coffee. Cheers. The first thing I do is I go on GoodNotes. So on GoodNotes is where, first my wellness diary, which I track all things in my wellness journey. So fitness, nutrition, skincare. I make my own custom workouts. So I have just my creative time. I look at my vision board, if there's any mood boards I wanna create, a new list of skincare products I wanna try. First thing I do at the beginning of every year / every season, I do seasonal ones sometimes, but definitely at the beginning of every year. What I do like to do is just have a direction of my goals that I can look at. I'm a very visual person, so I like to look at it and be like, oh yes, don't get distracted, stay the course. I wrote out all my goals. For every single goal, I find a photo. I find a photo on Pinterest. I use Pinterest. I have boards of every different category. You guys can follow me there. I just pin like crazy, and then I find 1 or 2 photos that perfectly represents that goal. And then I make a rough draft of my vision board, and I actually write the goal on each of the photos. It's really rough. Then I go and really try to find a theme for the year. So for me, the theme was focus. I find some quotes on that. And also for me, I like to have a theme of the year. And it can change every, 3 months. Come spring, I do a reevaluation in the season. But I'm really embracing blue this year. Is it because all my stuff's blue? Maybe, but just think about like a light blue. Water, it's feminine and powerful and strong, but calm and peaceful, and it's music and triumphant, and that's really like the energy I want to bring. It's like calm, serenity, feminine flow, but power. Go back to my vision board, I take those photos, make it nice and pretty, and then I kind of tie it all together with the quotes and kind of throw in some photos that represent like the theme of the year. We have all these ideas, we have the direction, we have the goals, but we need day-to-day to-do lists. This is where I use Canva. Canva, I make customized to-do lists. I just type in minimalist habit tracker or minimalist to-do list, and I find ones that look good, and I actually design them to have the specific to-do list I want to do every day. Now that there's coffee in me, I can actually form thoughts. I use GoodNotes, and I have a custom-made personal to-do list that I use through Canva. So I export that and put that into GoodNotes, and that is actually what I use my wellness journal for. This daily planner, it has a reminder of my monthly goal, just some personal quotes. It has my workout checklist. It has nutrition goals I'm trying to get. It has a morning checklist, wake up at 5 a.m. My little mantras I tell myself, which is show me how good it gets. Plan my day, morning walk in sunshine, get to the gym before 8 a.m. It's things to get done today. So reminders of things I want to do every single day. So work on music, have something to help my body recover, vlog, what I'm doing now, work in an inspiring environment, do stuff that nourishes my skin and hair. Those are things that are every single day, so I put that on there. And then I also at the bottom have today something I'm grateful for, what I'm proud of, what I can do differently. So that's just like my daily to-do list, kind of like a checklist of things to do every day. The third one is a bit more of like, we got work. We got invoices, we got bills to pay, or school. This is kind of good for school. I use Pencil Planner. This is my favorite app. Personally, I just like it had the long to-do list. A lot of the stuff on the left-hand side is just free space for me. Sometimes it's just little reminders. I just didn't want something with times a day. I just wanted a blank to-do list where I really get concrete. Like I got to film what's on my iPad 2023 video. So I put that there. I got a doctor's appointment. I gotta do an invoice. And that's my agenda I use. Like I said, the iPad is a really good thing of just like bigger picture items slowly siphoning down. Once we move more towards my iPhone, my laptop, my Apple Watch, that is where I get more into like the nitty gritty calculation, a bit more left brain-ish. Bad thing, I'm guilty of this, is you waste time building your to-do list and just writing your to-do list and not actually getting things done. Like if you already have to have a drink of water, why are you putting that in there? move along. I don't have water tracking. Another example for you guys might be like supplements. I know that's really hard for people this time of year. They're trying to take supplements. They don't remind themselves. I know I used to have to put that in there, and now I just take AG1 every single day, and it's a habit and I don't have to think about it. I took it every single day for a year. But speaking of simplifying routine, I gotta take a second to shout out AG1 for sponsoring this video. One big thing I'm really trying to bring to my wellness journey this year in my wellness diary is quality over quantity. I think we have a lot of clutter, and I just want to higher quality, simplify my life. And AG1 is one of the best ways for it. It has your adaptogens, antioxidants, it replaces your multivitamin, it has immune supporting, energy supporting. It is like the epitome of you get up and have that green juice, and you know it's not just some random green juice. It has everything. Instead of taking 10 different supplements, you don't even know if they work. You don't even know they're the highest quality. You know you have one supplement that's the highest quality, and it's multiple supplements in one. And it's just a great little part of my morning routine after the gym, before breakfast, that I just nourish myself. It's a great way to just slow down and do like a little bit self-care to myself. It has that, I don't want to say minimalism, but just a real decluttered, simplified version to my wellness routine, so I actually stick to it, because it's lots easier to drink one supplement every day for a year than to remind yourself that there's 20 different pills you have to take. And of course, I got a deal for you guys. Click my link down below to get a 1-year supply of their vitamin D3 K2 drops and 5 free travel packets with your first purchase. You can't put a price tag on your own health. Thank you, AG1, for sponsoring this video. Now, before we go on to the Apple Watch, why I really like the Apple Watch, my Apple Watch is a great way to actually measure it. How much sleep did I get? How much did I move? But I will have to give a little shout out to my iPhone and how I use it if you guys want a full video on it. A quick run through. First page, I really make sure is towards my biggest goals in life. OnRise, Notion, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube is kind of in the front. Then I have social medias at the back. Things that are a bit more distracting. Taking off all badge notifications. I've really done a revamp on just like my iPhone, so if you guys would want that, just a little shout out, I will say I use Notion to track work. I use OnRise app to track habits I'm trying to build. I use Day Since to track habits I'm trying to break. If anyone asks what my toxic trait is, I'm so mad because this baby blue iPad case and it doesn't come in my size of iPad yet. Oh, you bet your butt I'm gonna have this color as soon as it comes. Oh, and then I will be that girl. That's all this video is. I just need to buy the right iPad case and then, you know, I'm good to go. So that's end of video. Just kidding, let's dive into it. First, I have 2 different screens. I have my weekday and my weekend, just watch faces. The weekday has a lot more things I'm trying to do during the week. So it has my workouts out on there. I actually always have the time in Sweden because I'm usually in Vancouver. And so I know what time it is right away for my boyfriend because he's in Sweden. I'm like, oh, it's 3 a.m. I'm not gonna call him unless I'm just feeling like being that needy. I used to have water tracking, but as we talked before, I no longer really need that habit. So I removed it. I show the weather. Depending on the habit I'm trying to build right now, I have it on there. Mindfulness minutes, which I always say will be a habit I built, which I still haven't, but we're working on it. Then on the weekends, I have just a really basic one that's chic, just looks good because you know, it's still an Apple Watch. Oh, I did save up, buy this big or just a little less like, whoa, sorry. What I use on here for my fitness journey. Number 1, I use Strava. Yes, I use it to track my runs. I was just on a massive run streak. Now, of course, I gotta show you guys how I use my Apple Watch to work out. So we're gonna do that. I'm not gonna show specifically my workouts. I'm showing that next week's video. Stay tuned for that. But here's how I use my Apple Watch. You can do cycling on there, you can do walking, swimming. It is a great community. It's kind of like social media for it. Sometimes I just track the actual workout, sometimes I do Strava. Either way, I always import it into Strava, and that's a nice way to keep track on it. Number 2, I do use the workout app. They're just the generic close your rings on Apple Watch. It is nice, it is seamless. I am changing like my mindset a bit more towards those apps. So for example, steps. I had a Fitbit for the longest time, so I would always religiously get my steps in. And then I was like, oh, that's a little toxic. But also I don't really like just caring about calories because the calorie numbers are so inaccurate. They're not bad on the Apple Watch compared to other ones, but in general, they're never be 100% accurate. Example, say I do an hour workout, say I put HIIT, it's gonna say I burned 600 calories. If I just put yoga, it said 200. Even though I worked out the same, did the same movements, like that's how inaccurate it could be. So I've actually just transitioned to caring about movement minutes. I think it's actually called activity minutes. And that's just when I turn it on. And for me, I'm not saying do this, I'm just saying this is what I'm using right now. It's just this nice way to track like how much of my day am I moving. You know, I have a very sedentary day, I'm editing a lot, I'm working on music, I'm just a bit more mindful to move more. And then there's other days I'm doing crazy challenges. I can move so much and I'm like, you know what? Tomorrow sounds like a good rest day. Third, I will say tracking your sleep, especially the new Apple Watches do have that. I would 10 out of 10 recommend, but I'm an Aura Ring. I have a full video on that if you want. Third thing I use it, Apple Pay and music. I'm going on my hot girl walk, get away from social media and distractions and spend the whole time on my phone. So when I've actually started using my Apple Watch, I have Apple Pay on here and my music. I'm finished up work for the day and my go-to is usually a hot girl walk. And so what I'm gonna do, put these bad boys on. I don't wanna have my phone with me, so I'm gonna listen to all my music on here. I made you guys that girl playlist, so, but I will just a little shout out because you know, it's on brand for this video. So this is what I'll be listening to on my hot girl walk. Only appropriate, let's go. So seldomly will I leave the house without my phone. I just have a confession. I'm on my own, but make it really inaccessible, like put it in a really back random pocket of my purse so it's hard to grab. And then I just change the music / audiobooks on my Apple Watch when I go and get a little coffee, because you know, you gotta do that. You gotta treat yourself. I use Apple Pay and it is a great way to just get me away from my phone. I realize the irony that you need to buy another piece of electronic to get rid of one electronic, but guess what? I'm a YouTuber that's also trying to be a DJ. I have to be one with electronics.
That's not how the Force works.
They're not the enemy. You just have to have a good relationship. That's why I even like all this. It's just like really creating a good ecosystem. I'm trying to practice something called, there's a specific term for it. Let me find this. Digital minimalist. I guess I fall on like the minimalist side. Not me calling myself a digital minimalist when this is my literal setup right now. How I approach like a capsule wardrobe, all that. We'll talk more about that in this upcoming year and my wellness journey. But I think it's less about being like a minimalist. You just don't have too much junk, quality over quantity. So every 3 months I do a reset. I go over my to-do list on Canva on my iPad. Reset, is this appropriate for my goals right now? How much of my goals did I achieve over the last 3 months? Do I need to kind of realign? Have I gone off course? And then I also look at my phone, my iPad, my Apple Watch. I'm like, do I have a whole bunch of apps that are just taking up space I don't need? Do I use them once a week and then feel guilty that they're there because I use this tracking app that I used once or twice and then it fell off and I never actually use it? So I just delete all that stuff. I don't want anything that makes me feel guilty. I'd rather just start with one app that I use every day and build the habit. That's why I like GoodNotes and I actually like Notion. For example, I used to use the software management system and I still do a bit, ClickUp. And I think it's just so much bells and whistles. It's overwhelming versus I moved to Notion, which I'm like, it's just a blank white space. Just start simple. I sounded angry there. I did not mean that. That was... That right there tracks my movements for the day. I used to use it to track my water, but I just have that habit now because what I do, I fill up 4 water bottles at the beginning of the day and drink them all. At least it works. That's the biggest thing. This was the first year having this iPad, I actually did my writing. Every 3 months, I did reflect on my goals. Every day I did write my to-do list. Did I complete it every day? No. I started simple and then just kind of redid it towards myself. I used to always get templates from other people. That's why I like Canva, is I gotta create my own templates to work for my life and my goals. If I've learned anything about writing and using things like iPads or iPhones or Apple Watches, like just look big picture, figure out your goals, siphon it down, and just have something in your day-to-day that's super easy, super accessible, that actually keeps you accountable. And so my watch tracks my movement, my iPhone and iPad help track my day-to-day habits, and then it also allows me a space to reflect on my goals and think big picture. And that is how I personally use my Apple Watch and iPad, and most importantly, why I really use my Apple Watch. I'm gonna be honest, that's 90% of the reason I use it. Just I lose my iPhone 3 times a day and just, it's so nice. Have a great day, go pet dog. Love you guys, bye.